Good morning, good-looking people, and you're good-looking because you're always looking, and of course you are finding the good in everything and in everybody. Hope you're well. Hope you had a terrific and a great Shabbos. Today we're doing the Hayom Yom for the 22nd of Adar Aleph, and today's Hayom Yom is very long. It comprises of two different parts. The first part is regarding Shal Shudas, or some people call Suda Shlishi, the third meal on Shabbos. The second part of the Hayom Yom is talking about Mincha and how important Mincha is versus Shachris or Mariv. What we'll do is we'll go through each section. I'll give you some notes. There's a nice gematria as well in the day, and then we'll go to the messaging. So for the first part of the Hayom Yom, it's talking about a pasuk that we say, it's in Shmais, chapter 16, verse 25, and it talks about Vayomer Moshe echlu hayom ki Shabbos hayom la'Hashem hayom la'simso basodeh. So it's talking about the case of the mun, and where Moshe says, "Eat it today, for it is today. It's for Shabbos unto Hashem, and today you will not find it in the fields." And it's talking about the mun. On Friday, people went and picked up double portions. On Shabbos, nobody went out to the fields. And in this pasuk, it uses the word hayom 3 different times. However, the third time that it's used in the pasuk, in the verse, it says, it says Hayom Lo. So it's referring to Shabbos, that on Shabbos you will not find it. So in the mimer that is being talked about by the Rebbe Rashab, saying that there's an opinion that when it comes to this third meal of the day, Shal Shudas, some do not eat bread, and it's referring to because it says Hayom Lo. By the fact that it says not on today, that's how it's referring to Shal Shudas. So let's read inside, and then we'll go to the notes. So it says, my revered father, the Rebbe Rashab, writes in one of his Maimarim, the teaching of the Tzemach Tzedek regarding the third meal of Shabbos, based on the negative form of the phrase Hayom Lo. So we're going to that third part where it says, on this day you don't need to collect. So and here's the translation, today you will not find manna in the fields, meaning only at that meal one is not required to partake bread. However, one must partake of something. Indeed, Rabbi Yossi would say that I share the lot of those who partake of the 3 Shabbos meals. So what's being brought up here is that although there's this pasuk that says that Hayom Lo, that you don't have to go out and collect, and therefore referring that at the third meal you don't have to have bread, but somebody should partake of something, and what it's referring to is something spiritual as well, and participating in something at that meal at that time. And it's saying here also, Rabbi Yossi used to say, whoever does have 3 complete meals on Shabbos, his lot should be with those people. Now, the way it's connecting to the Parsha of the day and why it's being brought up is it says in this week's Parsha, we're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. How Moshe went up on the mountain, it says 40 days he did not eat nor he did not drink. And the Midrashim talk about that the ecstasy from learning Torah replaced the need for eating and drinking for Moshe. And therefore, being that the Parsha talks about Moshe not eating and drinking, it references the third meal of the day and the concept of that opinion in the mimer of where somebody may not eat or doesn't have to eat bread at that third meal. Moving to the second part of the Hayom Yom. The second part is talking about a pasuk that says, and it comes from the Haftarah of the Parsha, and it says, La'olam yehei adam zar b'tfilas ha-mincha. One should always be careful concerning the afternoon service. Let's read it right inside. It says, the Alter Rebbe delivered the following teaching shortly after he arrived in Liyazna. It says he was 21 or 22 years old when this took place. The sages teach, it says, La'olam yehei adam zar b'tfilas mincha. One should always be careful concerning the afternoon service. The afternoon service is the superior of the morning and the evening services, inasmuch as it is offered in the middle of the day when people are busy and involved in their affairs, yet they interrupt and they stop everything for the mincha. On this basis, we can offer a non-literal interpretation of the above teaching, and it says as follows. So now the Rebbe is taking the words and breaking it down. Where it says, La'olam yehei adam, it says a person's spiritual task in this world, La'olam, is to make his mind radiate and influence his emotive attributes. Yehei adam, so that his qualities will shine forth, like it says, Zahir. So it's what the Rebbe is saying here is, if you take the word Zahir, Zahir means to be careful, but it also means to shine. That when somebody is careful, and they're saying the mincha, that this creates an influence in all the attributes and the emotive attributes, and all his qualities begin to shine forth. And how does this take place? What causes this shining of all the emotive traits? So the Rebbe answers at the end, this means that one's spiritual essence should become his materiality, and this is evident at one prays the afternoon service. So what's happening here, and what's being awesome, this is referring to the businessmen, it's referring to people that are middle of the day. Mincha is difficult. We're in the middle of phone calls, we're in the middle of meetings, we're in the middle of stuff that's going on, we're involved in the material world. And all of a sudden we stop, we take a break, and we're davening mincha. By us davening mincha, we're elevating ourselves. And this prayer is higher than Shacharis and Mariv, because those could be done early, they could be done late. But to stop in the middle of the day and be involved in davening mincha, that is the higher version. That's the highest davening of the day. And the reason why this is being connected as well in this Hayom Yom, so we're talking about the mincha time. So the first part of the Hayom Yom was Shalosh Shudas, which is related to the mincha time on Shabbos. And then with regards to mincha, just in general during the week, in the Hayom Yom, it's in the Parsha of the week, in the Haftorah portion, it's talking about the Eliyahu Hanavi, how he was in a challenge with the other groups, and it says that he davened, and that his prayers were answered, and the fire came down, and he was successful. It says this happened at the mincha prayer. And being that the Haftorah is talking about the mincha prayer for Eliyahu Hanavi, therefore it's also an opportune time, and the Rebbe is bringing up mincha, that this is a very holy period, and it's higher than Shacharis and Mariv. Last gematria, or last portion of the Hayom Yom, the gematria, which is the numerical value. So today, the 22nd of Adar, marks 92 days from Yutes Kislev, which is the beginning of the Luach calendar. So what is 92? If you take the first part of the Hayom Yom, where it says Hayom Loi, so we were talking about where it has the word Hayom 3 times in the pasuk, and Hayom Loi refers to the Shalosh Shudas of not partaking in bread. So if you take the gematria of Hayom Loi, you get 92. So have a wonderful day. Have a successful week. It's very important, mincha, that we stop and we take a pause. And no matter what we're doing, to know that we're acknowledging God, we're putting our spiritual over our material. And with that, as it says in the Hayom Yom, that this causes to shine all these emotive traits, all these attributes, and brings us lots and lots of blessing. Have a great week. We'll talk more later.